plans of Albert Pike and the architects of the New World Order. In the 19th century, Albert Pike established a framework for bringing about the One World Order. Based on a vision revealed to him, Albert Pike wrote a blueprint of events that would play themselves out in the 20th century, with even more of these events yet to come. It is this blueprint which we believe unseen leaders are following today, knowingly or not, to engineer the planned Third and Final World War.
And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say,
"Come and see."
And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
Now, Albert Pike wrote a letter to Mancini, and that was dated August 15, 1871, in which he propagated that there should be a world order, a one order where all nations are under the control of one central organization. And in order to achieve this, they planned, and there are numerous quotes for this, so I've put a number on the screen because some will say, I don't trust this, I don't trust that, I don't trust the other. Here are references down there, there are references up there, there will be references in other slides, so it comes from different sources. He said, and this was, by the way, on display in the British Museum and could be seen there until it was taken away. The First World War, to overthrow the power of the Tsars in Russia, protector of orthodoxy, and bring about an atheistic communistic state. Did that happen? Yes. Now that was written long before this event. Long before this event. This was written in 1871, but this war broke out in 1914. The Second World War, that's also written long before the event, to originate between Great Britain and Germany, to strengthen communism as antithesis to the Judeo-Christian culture, and bring about a Zionist state in Israel. Did it achieve this objective? Yes. In fact, after this war, Israel, in its present form, was reinstated under the protection of Britain. And then, interestingly enough, a Third World War, a Middle Eastern war involving Judaism and Islam, and spreading internationally. That's fascinating. Is that on the cards, or what do you think?
Look at his clothes. He's not Iraqi. Ra'ed points out, it's not his real name, speaking to us on condition we conceal his identity. Ra'ed's wife and children are still in Mosul and could be slaughtered. Ra'ed, wanted by ISIS, just escaped with this video he shot on his phone. He believes the man he filmed is Afghan.
So he's saying we're going to go from Mosul to Baghdad to Jerusalem. And he says he was speaking in broken Arabic and clearly wasn't Iraq.
Ra'ed's experience in the images a rare glimpse into the murky world of ISIS and how it solidified its grasp.
See, the kid is giving the ISIS fighter a kiss.
Some of the women were even throwing chocolate on them and shouting, "You saved us from the security."
And ye shall hear of wars, and rumours of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places.
Breaking news this hour, the Russian Defense Ministry has confirmed that Russian fighter planes have conducted their first airstrikes against ISIL positions in Syria. And that's after the Russian president was given the go-ahead by Russian lawmakers.
The only way to combat terrorism in Syria and in neighboring countries is to act preventatively, to destroy the terrorists on the territories that they've already captured. Soviet countries are already fighting alongside Islamic State. If they succeed in Syria, they'll inevitably return to their home countries, including Russia. Russia has always supported and still supports the fight against terrorism. But we are sure that this fight should be conducted according to international law.
Now, the Pentagon has confirmed that the Russian military notified the U.S. it was starting its air operation. Our Lisa Phelan is in the Syrian capital, Damascus.
This is huge news. The first Russian Air Force strikes against Islamic State targets in Syria confirms. The Russian Defense Ministry says that they've carried out airstrikes against Islamic State's communication centers, arms, vehicle, and fuel depots. Now, of course, this comes after a request by the Syrian government, whose army has been fighting for almost 5 years against anti-government militants, including the Islamic State. They're extremely stretched across many different fronts. Now, the Russian Defense Ministry stresses that there's no ground troops involved in this operation, that it is limited to airstrikes. All of this comes as these anti-government militants, including the Islamic State, continue to wage a fierce battle against the Syrian government. In fact, just under an hour ago, I saw 2 mortars land very close to my hotel in the heart of Damascus, illustrating how the Syrian army is fighting across many different fronts. Now, these mortar attacks on Damascus are a daily occurrence, and the Syrian army is having to grapple with these attacks in Damascus, in Aleppo, in Homs, on various different fronts.
Certainly sounds like we are on track. Well, here's another quote. Just in case people don't like that quote. Mazzini with Pike developed a plan for 3 world wars so that eventually every nation would be willing to surrender its national sovereignty to a world government. The first war was to end the Tsarist regime in Russia, the second to allow the Soviet Union to control Europe, the third world war was to be in the Middle East between Muslim and Jews and would result in Armageddon. Interesting. Now, how were they going to do it? Let's read what Albert Pike wrote about these wars and how they were going to be unleashed. He wrote, quote, "We shall unleash the nihilist and the atheist," so the destroyer and the atheist, "and we will provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism. Origin of savagery and the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the minority of revolutionaries will exterminate these destroyers of civilization, and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, will receive the pure light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer. The destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time." Wow, what a clever plan. So you rub the 2 systems which you create up against the other. You create atheism as an antithesis to the Judeo-Christian culture. You have these 2 clash until they rub each other up, and then out of that you will get a new world order where you have a new religion which is far more esoteric and actually honors Satan. Isn't that a rather clever plan? Well, it's very successful. That is why Ordo ab Cao is the verse, if you like, that Freemasonry uses. This is one of their documents, remember, that I photographed in a Masonic